Hi, good afternoon, everyone. This is Dilan from Ezoref Technologies, a subsidiary of South Asian Technologies. And thank you very much for attending the Veritas Enterprise data protection session for the first quarter of 2022-2023. So this is our first large event that we are inviting some of our biggest customers and some of the largest corporates here in Sri Lanka in order to pass on some information about our enterprise data protection stack from NetBackup along with the NetBackup appliance, as well as our optimized availability and application availability stack with InfoScale availability. So without going any further, I would like to introduce our speaker for the day, Mr. Kapil Kurlekar, and he's one of the senior sales engineers here at Veritas for India. So Kapil, without taking much more time, I would like to hand it over to you. Thank you.
Thanks, Dilan, for the introduction. I hope you're able to hear me properly. You start my video as well.
Yes, Kapil.
Yeah, and you're also able to see the screen.
Yes, it's loud and clear.
Okay, great. All right. So without taking any further time, let's start with today's session. Today, I will be taking you over NetBackup 10, which is the latest and the best release of NetBackup that has come out just in the past few weeks, really. We'll look at what it is built on, what it addresses, how we got to NetBackup 10 as well in the next couple of slides. Okay. In the interest of time and just as a part of hygiene, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them up in the Q&A box or in the chat box. Q&A box would be more appreciated. So yeah. All right. So let's start with NetBackup 10. Okay. All right. Yes. What are the cloud data protection or the data protection challenges that are out there? Right. Cloud complexity, varying level of SaaS protection. There are a lot of inconsistent policies as well, right? Limited multiple cloud visibility. Now, customers as yourselves and few other customers, most of the customers rather, are moving to a scenario where they are leveraging multiple clouds, like maybe AWS. There is certain presence in Azure, and with Google, spreading its legs around in the world. People are also utilizing Google as well. So, multiple clouds, multiple SaaS vendors and stuff like that. You need visibility into all of these things, right? Unexpected costs, massive amounts of data. I mean, data is something that has been growing. Storage costs are reducing. That means that it's easier to buy storage, but that adds to a lot of complexity, not just complexity in maintaining that data, but the complexity in storing and managing that data as well. I'm sorry about that. Right, and security and ransomware vulnerabilities, right? Distinguishing between the common activities and potential threats. You can have the best of securities, but these bad actors and bad players that are out there, they are still going to try and beat you with some of the new tricks or some of the other tricks that they have, right? So how is NetBackup solving all of these problems, right? Announcing NetBackup 10, right? It is built on the new cloud scale architecture. Cloud optimized multiple cloud orchestration and visibility. You can achieve that, right? Achieving the best utilization of the NetBackup cloud services. Cyber resiliency with active cyber defenses, zero ransomware recovery, and automated operations, event driven elastic cloud services. assured data protections, reduce cost and reduce cost, carbon footprints, and things like that. And we'll see all of these in the upcoming slides, right? What has been the NetBackup journey? Like I said, we have reached NetBackup 10, but to reach over here, there has been a strategic and a targeted investment into NetBackup, right? And that is how we reached that. That is how we have reached where we have reached. With NetBackup 8.3, we started off as the API first automation, automated discovery and protection services. We started off with a bit of ransomware resiliency in NetBackup 8.3. Uh, with NetBackup 9.0, we we had come up with the containerized service, distributed. It is, it's an easier way to deploy NetBackup, right? Giving you performance and scalability, performance, and of capacity, as well as compute and basically compute and other resources, right? In NetBackup 9.1, we came up with auto scaling of cloud compute resources, cloud storage as a service, NetBackup recovery vault, and stuff like that. Those features we came up with the NetBackup 9.1. With NetBackup 10, like I said, containerized. It's a cloud scale architecture that we are putting forth. Containerized. It is composable microservices, right? Integrated SaaS protection, analytics and insights. Automated provisioning and dynamically allocating. Dynamically allocating resources, provisioning, deprovisioning, and all of these exciting and cool new features are there with NetBackup 10. Right. So what has been there, right? So this is what is coming up in NetBackup 10, as we saw in the earlier slide. But this is what we had done in 8.3. I'll just quickly take you guys over this. So yeah, updates to the MS SQL protection, updates to Oracle protection. So essentially, it has it's all divided into these 4 themes: workloads, cloud storages, operational simplicity, and compliance and governance. The most few of the most exciting things about 8.3 was support for Nutanix AHV and updates to that, updates to the universal share, right? Then for the cloud storage, backup to cloud, right? OpenStack improvements. In operational simplicity, we had introduced the web UI in 8, NetBackup 8. We have added quite a lot of features and functionality to the web UI. Then we had reduced the Java footprint. We are slowly but surely heading towards a scenario where we'll be deprecating the Java UI and everything will be on the web UI, right? In terms of compliance and governance, there are a lot of security updates that we put into NetBackup. There are a lot of additional RBAC options now that NetBackup supports RBAC. In NetBackup 9.0, right? What were the features, right? Dynamic NAS, checkpoint restart, right? MongoDB support for MongoDB, support for Azure Stack, right? Then in cloud storages, MSDP cloud tiering to Azure archive support, cloud optimized deduplication and dedupe rate performance improvements. Again, something that is essentially, very, very crucial to any of your big deployments. Encrypted volumes, Azure incremental snapshot support and stuff like that. Operational simplicity, like I said, the web UI continues to evolve and get better. We are adding so many more policies and so many more workloads into web UI. Like I said, the eventual goal is to head towards a stage where we deprecate the Java UI and completely are focused on the web UI. Again, and this is in the NetBackup 10. So in terms of the workloads, as you can see, we have enhanced the Oracle protection, Kubernetes protection, building blocks for the autonomous data management. Again, that is a theme for the future releases of NetBackup. Right. Then there are several other scalability and performance improvements for universal share, foundational protection for Cassandra, In cloud and in cloud storages, cloud and storage, we have support for Azure cloud immutability, cloud deployment for cloud deployment as well, right? There is recovery vault proliferations now with recovery vault, NetBackup recovery vault. There are a lot of proliferations that we are doing in order to support newer regions and stuff like that. Again, in the operation simplicity, driving the backup admin to give him a single single pane of glass via the NetBackup UI, so wherein they can manage the on-premise infrastructure, cloud infrastructure, as well as your SaaS infrastructure. Data protection for your SaaS as well. Simplified management, again, deployment insights for scheduling, catalog management and stuff like that. Improved operation with web UI, P2V, activity monitor, latest branding also has come into place. And with security and compliance, one of the biggest things that we have done is the integrated malware scanning, NBU catalog sync with immutable on the immutable storage as well. Smart card authentication enhancements. Now these are some of the enhancements that we keep on delivering. So much so that the NetBackup 10 consists of over 110 new features and or enhancements, right? What is it that we are looking to do going forward, and what we'll continue to do is we'll continue to work on features that enable the cloud elasticity and performance and security. We are determined to enhance our AI and ML powered automation, and we shall be converting this intelligent automation into self-provisioning, right? Self-configuration, self-optimization, and self-service, right? So automation is the essential goal. Okay, if you have had any questions on this, again, like I said, please feel free to put them in the Q&A box, and the panel would be happy to answer them. Moving on, let's just double click on the stuff that we just sort of saw in the first couple of slides. Cloud optimized backups. The cloud optimized features in NetBackup include the new agile cloud business model, integrated SaaS application data protection, integrated analytics and insights, and provides crucial capabilities for Kubernetes as well, right? So let's just look at this. Cloud native data protection capabilities. Again, application is now available with NetBackup from a single console. Customers as yourselves and your administrators can monitor data protection across all of their application, thereby lowering their complexity, the risk, and the TCO as well, right? NetBackup 10 SaaS protection provides automatic protection for SaaS workloads, right? Including auto discovery of, let's say you are protecting your M365, right? Once you have configured M365 into NetBackup SaaS protection, or any new users that join, right? Any mailboxes any new mailboxes that are configured, any new folders that are created, files that are added, and stuff like that. Everything is included into the next backup as soon as these resources are created. We are again continuing to innovate in our SaaS protection, and we'll be supporting newer workloads and newer SaaS providers in the coming time. If you have heard, right? If you might have heard, right? Veritas actually acquired a company called as Aptar, maybe couple of, I guess, 2 to 3 years back. Now that Aptar has, which was earlier given out as a separate product, right? It has now been integrated into NetBackup, and it is now called as the NetBackup IT Analytics Foundation, right? And this is included in the NetBackup 10, right? The IT Analytics version, that is the version that brings new insights and intelligence to data across hybrid and multi-cloud environments. Now, Aptar, as you know, is an analytics tool, right? It has a lot of connectors that can look at data that is residing in your any SAN-based storages, right? Any virtualization environment, any any data protection solutions that you might have, not just NetBackup, but like for Veritas, it has connectors that look into backup exec. Then it has connectors that look into Veeam or maybe even Commvault and stuff like that. So all that data necessarily, get that, pull that data and actually present it in a way that actually by which you are able to derive insights and value into that. I mean, NetBackup IT analytics is doing that. Uh, Again, one of the big things that is going on around NetBackup and across. I mean, the team in NetBackup is obviously ties to the use cases that are happening in the outside world. Kubernetes is one of the biggest things that is happening right now. A key component of our Kubernetes data protection has been the ability to protect any distribution. Right now, Kubernetes also comes with so many distributions, right? With Red Hat OpenShift or VMware Tanzu or the Google Kubernetes engine. Now, we at Veritas and with NetBackup want to give the best of protection and end-to-end protection for all of your Kubernetes deployments that you might have in your organization. And we are working towards that. And part of NetBackup 10, we have already given that out as well. New NetBackup appliances. We are also introducing new NetBackup FlexScale appliances on both Dell and HP servers. Now, just a brief about the NetBackup FlexScale. FlexScale appliances are appliances that that work on our Flex software. Now, this Flex software now you will be able to it will be available on Dell and HP servers as well, thereby giving you the more choice and flexibility in your configurations, correct? I see a question in the Q&A, and let me just see what that question is and if I can address that. Will NetBackup work with any third-party storages, and how many IOPS do we need to consider for Oracle DB size 1 terabyte? Okay, Jayesh is answering that question. You'll soon get an answer. Thank you for your question, though. Cloud optimized, right? As we saw in the previous slides, consistent, unified, and automated data protection. A single NetBackup subscription solution, regardless of workloads or workload types, protection types, or recovery needs. Right? Everything is protected with NetBackup. Automated multi-cloud discovery and orchestrated protection. You can have your traditional cloud lift and shift, or it could be hosted in the cloud, Kubernetes, cloud native SaaS deployments, cloud native, SaaS applications. All of those are covered with NetBackup 10. Automated operations. Now, NetBackup includes new automated operation capabilities that deliver the business a more cost-effective and sustainable cloud with a set of elastic cloud services for snapshot-based backups and recovery. Right? We'll take a look at what is covered with the NetBackup automated operations. New elastic backup and recovery service for Azure and AWS. We support agentless backup from the snapshot, right? Cloud optimized again, application consistent protection in the distributed cloud. Again, containerized NetBackup dedupe engine. It can be deployed as a service. It eliminates the need for static instances, right? Multi-tier replication as well, right? Replicate your backups to any target and restore to anywhere as well. So on premises or directly in the cloud. Now, earlier, what used to happen was that to back up from the snapshot, you used to need to have, you had to have a NetBackup that was running, an instance of NetBackup that was running, or multiple instances of NetBackup that were running. But what has happened now with the elastic backup and recovery is that whenever there is the schedule that is supposed to run, a NetBackup, this instance is triggered, it is powered on, the backups happen, and it is auto provisioned and auto deprovisioned, right? So you don't have to pay the bills for keeping one of either an instance of NetBackup up and running continuously. Okay. Again, we are supporting backup snapshots from applications or VMs in Azure or AWS or Google Cloud, right? Then there are several other workloads that we are supporting in the cloud as well. Now, all of these you can put it on-premise object storages, or you can put it on NetBackup recovery vault type storages, or any of the public cloud storages, right? So that is the flexibility that we are giving you with NetBackup 10. Okay. Now, elastic auto scaling for AWS and Azure, the exact cloud resources needed by the business at the right time, right? Like I said, it dynamically adapts to the compute resources, automatic deployment and removal of thin net backup clients, snapshots and dedupe instances. So you only end up paying for the resources when they are needed, right? It adapts to workload requirements. Like I said, automatic provisioning and deprovisioning parallelizes it parallelizes throughput. That means that you don't have to even if the resources are provisioned, they are not provisioned for a longer amount of time. They are the backups happen faster, and it is not required for them for the resources to be up and running in the cloud for a longer time. As well as there is no compromises on the RTO and RPO, even though it's all automatic and provisioned as and when needed. No compromises to the RTO and RPO. Let's look at the cyber resiliency part over here. How are we addressing it? We are addressing via three essential tenets to really protect, detect, and recover. Now we'll double click on all of these three in the upcoming slide. The new NetBackup immutable data protection capabilities. You have multi-cloud immutability. NetBackup 10 expands its cyber resilient and immutable data protection policies to AWS, Azure, and other cloud providers. We have also expanded NetBackup cyber resiliency in the data center with our Flex and FlexScale appliances. And an important new capability that has been added to our NetBackup is the Access LTR appliance that enables you to retain the second copy of your SaaS application data on premises, right? We have also added immutable data policies to support Cloudian's Hyperstore object storage and Montana's the Hitachi content platform as well. The new NetBackup SaaS protection DR copy of data. It is an air-gapped immutable DR copy on premises or in AWS S3 cloud. It gives you protection from ransomware, provides disaster recovery copy of the SaaS applications. You are easily able to achieve the best practice of 3-to-1 backup strategy for SaaS data as well. And it allows customer to meet crucial compliance requirements as well. Some organizations have specific compliance requirements and have to maintain a copy of their data on site as well. Many NetBackup customers are taking the advantage of Veritas appliances to automatically fulfill these requirements. Okay? With the new integration between NetBackup SaaS protection and NetBackup, you will be able to have your SaaS backup data automatically replicated to an on-site copy or on a NetBackup appliance, right? And customers can also leverage the option of replicating their data to the storage on Amazon S3 as well. Right. The new active anomaly detection and malware scanning. NetBackup 10 includes a new automated malware scanning feature that works in conjunction with the AI-driven near real-time anomaly detection that was introduced in NetBackup 9.1. When anomalies are suspected, malware scanning is automatically initiated to determine if the backup set contains any malware, right? Malware scanning can also be regularly initiated on a high-risk area such as internet-facing Windows clients, for example, right? The malware scanning is utilized to efficiently identify the last known good backup prior to a restore. Then the NetBackup UI engine identifies which backup instance have been scanned and thereby you can before the restore you have a, a clean restore that you can clean data that you can ensure that you can restore. Okay. With the content aware clean recovery, now look at how this enables the content aware clean restore from a ransomware event. As mentioned in NetBackup, as mentioned, the NetBackup UI shows the status of the backup scanning states, right? This enables the admin to expire and delete infected instances, and then utilize the next newest backup instance. Okay. But NetBackup also includes granular file level restores, right? As you know, right? This feature can determine which files have within the infected backup instance are clean and which contain the malware. Those clean files can be restored from the most recent backup, and additional data can be restored from a previous clean backup, as an example. Okay. New expanded NetBackup orchestrated multi-cloud recovery. We have added support for GCP DR and for GCP DR and migration. It adds to our present AWS and Azure capabilities. New Oracle DR and migration to Azure. Expanded VMware DR and migration features. Right, VMware to and from VMware in the cloud, and VMware in the cloud to or from VMware in the cloud, right? So all of these capabilities are now available with NetBackup 10. NetBackup 10, as we saw, is secure and resilient, right? SaaS data protection on premises, multiple cloud immutable data, right? Zero ransomware, content aware, clean recovery, something that we just saw. Orchestrated multi-cloud recovery as well. Anomaly detection and malware scanning. I mean, anomaly detection and malware scanning form the basis of all of these things that you're seeing over here. All right. Uh, let's switch gears and move to ransomware. Again, one of the biggest things that has come out of the pandemic that we have just gone through is the threat of the ransomware, right? So the three powerful steps uh, to ransomware resiliency are what we call them as protect, detect, and recover, right? What are the challenges for the ransomware resiliency, right? Data is all over the place, right? Data could be residing in servers, it could be residing in cloud, it could be residing on applications in file servers, and God knows where, right? Now, with all of this, it just grows your attack surface, right? Now, bad guys could be targeting servers, they could be targeting files, they could be targeting users' computers, they could be targeting your applications and stuff like that. I mean, what all are you going to protect, and till how long can you protect those things? And security alone is not really enough, right? If you just leave one sort of hole open, you are actually sort of giving entry into your entire thing. So that is just not important. So we have to go beyond data protection, right? Our strategy is the three steps to resiliency. Like I said, protect, right? Safeguarding data integrity with system hardening and immutability, right? uh, Despite the challenge of the entire enterprises are facing, Veritas has a plan to achieve this in three steps, right? What is that? The first step is to protect, right? Safeguarding data integrity. The first step in any ransomware resiliency plan should be ensuring that the data is protected. Even the best practice says that you need to adhere to the 3-2-1 rule, right? And the 3-2-1 rule is to have backup copies, right? At least three backups happening with two different copies and one copy offsite, right? So protection is really one of the most critical and important things in the fight against ransomware resiliency. The second part is the detect part, right? Monitoring and reporting, right? Second, any plan as is only as strong as the weakest link, obviously, right? So ransomware, it loves to target the dark and vulnerable corners of the IT environment. In order to close these potential gaps, visibility is really important. Veritas can help ensure all the systems are protected and anomalous behavior is identified before it becomes a critical situation. Sorry. And the third and the most important part again is to recover. This is achieved by having as many options as possible, including alternate recovery sites like secondary data, right? Secondary data centers, or even standing up an entire data center in the cloud on demand whenever it is needed, right? So recovering is not restores, but having different options to recover that data or your entire systems is really important, and that is something that we do. Protect. Let's just look at all these things in detail, right? Uh, Again, NetBackup supports all of these 800 plus sources, right? It could be Microsoft Azure, Oracle, Kubernetes, VMware, you name it, and NetBackup supports it. You can protect your data onto more than 1,400 storage targets. It could be a primary site. It could be NetBackup services that you might have. It could be you could protect on NetBackup appliances. You can store your data on NetBackup appliances, on third-party hardware, on cloud, on tape. The options that you have are really. I mean, the flexibility that you as a customer has is really good, right? Again, all of this comes with security, encryption, immutability, and all of these options, right? Again, what you can also do is that you can create a secondary net backup site from the primary site data itself, right? You can dedupe. You have the option of deduped AIR. AIR is the auto image replication. So your backup images as well as your catalogs are migrated to a secondary net backup site where you can store all of that data onto the secondary site. Again, this can form as your air gap network as well. NetBackup has all of these capabilities, host-based intrusion prevention with the NetBackup appliances. You have the IPS intrusion prevention system that is built into it, right? What often gets is overlooked is the host-based intrusion prevention capabilities of NetBackup, include NetBackup appliances, including the Flex and the FlexScale appliances. Right, as I mentioned earlier, one of the ways the threat actors will limit your options to pay the ransom is by compromising the backup system itself. Right, they compromise the backup system itself. Now, what are the secondary steps that you have taken to make the scenario very unlikely? When Veritas was still part of Symantec, right, this technology was called as the critical systems protection. For a number of years, we take the appliances from platform from the Black Hat conference and offer $10,000 prize to anyone who could crack it. Right now, that is the kind of protection systems that we have on our appliances. The appliance intrusion prevention systems consist of the custom Symantec data center security policy that we have that automatically runs the startup. The IPS policy is inline the policy that can provide proactively block unwanted resources accessing unwanted resource access behaviors before they can be acted upon by the operating system itself. Right. Also, the appliances are purpose built. They don't run a full-blown version of any operating system. The operating system that runs on the appliance is a hardened operating system and a reduced version of the Red Hat OS. We refer to this as a way to reduce the attack surface. Secondly, only authorized devices are allowed to communicate with NetBackup appliances. Right. For example, if a client or other system doesn't have a valid digital certificate, if it doesn't have a valid digital certificate, it then the NetBackup will not allow to communicate with the NetBackup at all, right? So unless and until you have proper certificates and tokens, you're not allowed to talk with NetBackup. At least the servers, the systems are not allowed to talk with NetBackup. Thirdly, the appliance platform uh, only accesses to trusted code, meaning that only code that has been signed off by Veritas, right? This means that the code has been signed by Veritas, and also the code has access to the backup data. In today's term, this is called as allow listing. Okay. In earlier time, it was called as the whitelisting, but what we are calling it as allow listing. Finally, the appliance user, including the root, have only required access privileges on NetBackup appliance and nothing more, minimizing the access to the system resources and allowing for segregation of duties and control. Right. Moreover, we also limit admin access by requiring one-time token over and above two-factor authentication, which expire quickly. So if you compare this with the competition, you will find that one, while protecting your backups, they add to your attack surface by requiring third-party tools in addition to needing additional VMs, right? The most of them depend on external NTP clock, which can be compromised sometimes, resulting in halting of the backup system. And third, they they will still allow methods of boot by means of BIOS, which don't fully restrict actions like cluster resets, which can compromise your backups. Data that is impervious to change is cost effective, right? So, uh, you know, uh, I'm sorry. Uh, just give me a second, please. Right. As we saw in the earlier thing, native immutability provided by the NetBackup appliances. As I was saying, that NetBackup appliances have native immutability in them. In one of the slides, I mentioned that this is the most secure option. Right. It is important to note that everything on the left hand side of the slide is responsibility of the backup team. Okay. Everything on the left hand side of the slide is the responsibility of the backup team. Okay. They build protection plans and set retention levels via our MSDP OST plugins. NetBackup can automate the storing of backup images on immutable storage. One on the other side, on the right hand side, right, this is we see that various components of our immutable storage. Right. On this slide is the responsibility of the security team. We sometimes uh, meaning that no one admin level is ever credentialed to do everything. You will need 4 eyes or 2 people minimum. You immediately notice two key capabilities in the little gray box, right? The first thing is that it is independent of the compliance clock, meaning that altering the OSS clock to expire images can't happen for the data stored immutably here. Second is the two mode of immutability. First is the compliance mode, which is very locked down. No matter which credentials you have, you will not be able to expire any images until normal expiration dates are set for this storage. Okay. The second, enterprise mode, provides some more flexibility, allowing for the image expiration ahead of schedule for reasons for like reclaiming storage. Even though enterprise mode allows for expiring images, it does not require two admin level accounts working together to achieve this. So there is little to no single point of failure for immutability. Let's look at the security hardening that you will get with NetBackup Flex Scale. Right. As we have seen, we already have anomaly detection and policy-based retention. Right. On top of that, we have already taken a look at the compliance log, which we just saw in the previous slide, which is the compliance as well as the enterprise, right? Then with FlexScale, we support the warm storages, as well as encryption has been with NetBackup for a very long time, right? Now all this in conjunction with limited service privileges, container isolation, file system isolation, and network segregation, you are just reducing your attack surface. Along with that, you also have firewall blocking internal services. You have restricted admin access. You have mandatory access control, right? Root access removal is something that you can do. The IDS IPS we just saw in the previous slide as well, and the new one is the restricted remote destructive operations. With all of these functionalities and capabilities, we are achieving the zero trust model for providing multiple layers of protection from ransomware attack. The second step of this is the detect step, right? As we saw, uh, there are a lot of sources that NetBackup can protect, and it can protect it to different storage targets. Now the thing is that we need to get insights into all of this, what has been backed up, and not just in the primary data but the metadata as well, along with that on the backup data as well. So how are we going to do that? AI-powered anomaly detection, something that I mentioned about in the earlier part of my presentation. Only Veritas can scan and monitor all systems, including the third-party backup products, eliminating the blind spots. It is automated and on-demand malware scanning, which provides clear warning prompts. Okay, spot checking of known high area risk areas of recovery and recovery of clean data. Recovery will never be dependent on paying ransom, because it will never protect any unprotected data. Understanding the anomaly detection. This is what sort of an AI powered detection engine calculates. I mean, this is the benchmark, right? So let's say that this is your normal backup, right? So this is the normal backup that you usually run. Okay. Now, what the anomaly detection does is that it creates a benchmark. So if the data or the sine wave inside of of these two parallel lines is your benchmark, these two are anomalies, right? The greater the distance from the cluster, the more severe the reported anomaly score will be, right? So if the deviation is much larger, the anomaly score is going to be high, right? So it can the events can occur outside of the established normal, are captured, and backup teams are notified in near real time. So because this is all machine learning, small false positives can be ignored and are ignored, right? It mines enormous amounts of data, right? Automate the monitoring and reporting. It gains actionable insights. It reports based on several criteria, right? And yeah, so this is what our anomaly detection does. It, like I said, it creates a benchmark of your backup data, of the various different streams of backups that you might have, right? It creates this benchmark. Now, any deviation from the benchmark is reported to the backup teams in near real time. So this is the high-level overview of the malware detection in NetBackup, right? During backups, as we just saw, the source objects whatever data that is flowing into NetBackup, it is sort of benchmarked. It is benchmarked, right? After the backup, the admins get in the backup storage, they can do spot checks of high risk areas. So whatever has been reported over here, they can do a spot checks of this particular data. Like these two are clean data, for example, but there is some problem in this particular data set. The admin can go and check for high risk areas. Again, before restore, they can run the scan to ensure that the data is clean. Now, from the backup set, the restore can be done to the original source. You can do a bare metal restore to a separate hardware, or the entire restore can be done on cloud as well. Here are the steps of recovery. Just give me a second. I'll just have a glass of water, please. Okay. Optimizing for recovery and not just backup, right? So we've seen in a version of this enterprise workload image on a couple of slides, right? The point was just to highlight the heterogeneous nature of today's enterprises, which are made up of generations of technology and both legacy and modern applications, right? Um, Spanning from tier zero applications, which have heavy modification rates, and heavy modification rate and rate high on criticality, to tier three applications which have low degree of criticality. Veritas supports all of these applications, and however, the point of the point is of any backup is the restore, right? It is the surety you gain from knowing you can recover that drives the backup behavior in the first place. With that understanding and the understanding that hackers look for credentials to gain access to as many critical systems as possible, knowing that by doing so, they can increase the pain that they can affect on you. So, okay. So what are we ensuring? Copy of are we ensuring that we have a copy and restore point of important data? Yes, with the backups we are, right. Are we creating optimized recovery experiences that we help? Uh, are we creating optimized recovery experiences that will help us get data back and running when we need to recover? Let's see. Do you have to decide between optimized recovery experiences? Probably not, right? Does it cover all tiers of data? No. So multiple disparate backup solutions by design create complicated recovery experience, especially when multiple systems are compromised. How do you decide between your tier one and tier two of decide between the tier one and tier two data? You cannot do all the tiers, right? NView resiliency can span across all the types of tiers and methods to serve your needs. Okay. Mul- Again, recovery, flexible recovery options is something that we have. Maybe not all of your environment is impacted, maybe just a portion, right? A granular file recovery allows you to quickly grab individual databases or files that will allow you to very quickly recover back to production. Sometimes it does happen that your entire servers do get encrypted. When that happens, bare metal recovery allows you to recover that entire server quickly. In NBU 9.1, bulk and instant recovery, right? NBU instant rollback for VMs allow you to recover large amount of VMs back to production. You can roll back hundreds of VMs concurrently in minutes. Uh, yeah, dedupe again, because you are able to dedupe to cloud. You can do a cloud to cloud recovery as well in case of ransomware. Maintain how you Step 3 in the recovery is maintain control. Completely automate the recovery orchestration. Okay, fast recovery from directly from deduplicated data stored in the cloud. Recover an entire data center in the cloud on demand if that is something that you would want to do. Let's say there is a huge problem and you cannot recover it on premises in the location that you have. You can spin that off into the cloud of your choice. Recover rapidly. Only Veritas can automate and orchestrate complete data center recovery on demand anywhere, including the cloud, from dedupe data at scale. This means one-click execution of your recovery plan. Okay, so this is a snapshot from the NetBackup UI, right? Wherein you can see all the registered VMs, right? You can select bunch of VMs and say rollback instantly. It's going to ask you where do you want to roll it back and stuff like that, and you can put it back over there onto either the same location or maybe even in the cloud. Resiliency in the face of ransomware attack, because it's not a matter of if but when, right? Protect, as we have sufficiently established that protection is really important. Native immutable storage support. What is NetBackup giving you, right? Native immutable storage support, third-party hardware warm support, third-party cloud warm support as well, immutable independent compliance clocks, right? Bring your own up. It can be on you bring your own device or an appliance or cloud or SaaS, and SaaS immutability. Or encryption has been there with NetBackup for a long time, right? Network security, management of data encryption. It supports TLS 1.2 and 204 bit plus, and identity and access management, granular RBAC, as I mentioned, along with multi-factor authentication. In the detect part, across detection across all backups and infrastructure vendors, right? Built-in ransomware templates, suspicious account lockdown, backup of primary data sources and infrastructure resource usage, anomaly detection. Again, recovery, as part of the recovery, all tier multiple replication methods of recovery, right? Then, as we saw, you can do either full recovery, a bare metal recovery, instant recovery, granular recovery, and all of these can be, and most of these recovery options are self-serviced as well. So let's say you have a database admin who wants to do his own restores. They can log into the NetBackup console, and based on the role that they have been assigned, they can do their recoveries on their own as well. Again, something that we have already seen, unparalleled immutability. You have to eliminate the uncertainty. You have complete visibility into it and maintain the control. Your applications could be on any tier. NetBackup backs it up, and you can do the recoveries as well from that. Any questions over here? I see there is something in the chat. Dilan has received a couple of questions on chat, it seems, on WhatsApp. What are the unique features of NetBackup that offers over competition? We will have, we'll send out, if there are any battle cards or stuff like that, to Dilan, and he can distribute those among yourself. Does Veritas have a solution for VM level replication? We do. In fact, that is that solution is now available with your NetBackup subscription license as well. We are calling it as VRP. Again, Avinash or myself will send out data sheets for it. Does Veritas support any public cloud? We support almost all of the public clouds that are there. So, NetBackup can be deployed in public clouds. It can be deployed in private clouds as well. You can store your backup data in public clouds, all S3 based storages, Azure, GCP, all of those storages are supported with NetBackup. What is the smallest appliance that can be procured? Right on cue. Actually, we are going to be looking at NetBackup appliances, and we'll just look at all of these details in just a bit. Something in the Q&A. Let me just take a quick look at that. Okay, Jayesh is taking care of that answer. All right. Let's look at NetBackup appliances. Okay. How does NetBackup appliance help customers? It simplifies protection of remote offices. There are several other the appliances that we have range from a small 4 terabyte appliance to petabyte scale appliances, right? So remote office protection, it reduces the maintenance cost. It streamlines the protection of remote office resources. You can replicate your backups to a central data center. It increases the operational efficiency. Appliances, right? You don't have to install the OS. You don't have to worry about the patches and stuff like that. The appliance that comes to you, comes to your place, it's literally plug and play. You boot up that appliance, add in the network, the storage is already there, the compute is already there. You just have to do a few configurations and you're up and running. Minimize the planned and unplanned downtime. Streamline management tasks. Again, like I said, plug and play sort of device. You can just get it in, do a few config checks, and that's it. You're reducing your capex through NetBackup environment consolidation. Uh, you also are reducing your operating expenses, right? So you are with the appliances, we give you, Veritas gives you the compute, the storage, along with that the operating system and everything. So if you look at the other side, I mean, if you have to do it on a server, let's say, you have to pay for the server, the hardware, the cooling, the operating system, the maintenance of that server and stuff like that. But with appliances, you are reducing all of those things. It is an optimized, it maximizes performance and scalability. It has optimized performance, right? With hardware and software integration, reduce the bandwidth and capacity requirements. With deduplication, all the appliances support deduplication, and you're just reducing your bandwidth and capacity requirement with deduplication. These are very easily scalable. They are very easily vertically scalable appliances. You can, if you have need for additional space, you can add shelves and you can grow. What are the use cases that we are solving with NetBackup appliances? The benefit of any of a data optimization and deduplication are very well known throughout the industry, right? With Veritas NetBackup appliances, the current limits on deduplication capability are greatly expanding through the availability of to run multiple NetBackup MSDP media servers on a single NetBackup appliance. This potentially allows the customers to utilize almost the entire storage capacity of the NetBackup appliance, almost 2 petabyte, as deduplication is enabled on the storage. Thereby, now this use case, right, increase the NetBackup server deployment speed. You can deploy NetBackup servers in matter of time. These are the three, by the way, these are the three appliances that we have: 5150, 5250, and 5350. All of these appliances are explained in detail in the upcoming slides. This is the other use case is reduce the secondary storage cost with expanded deduplication. Again, expand optimized optimization and enabled storage by hosting multiple NetBackup MSDP media servers. Increase the deduplication capacity to almost 2 petabytes, like we saw in the earlier slide with the NetBackup 5350 appliance. Secure and isolate tenant backup information. NetBackup appliances, configuring the NetBackup application instances infrastructure into logical groups known as tenants. You can secure and isolate the tenant backup data, and you can secure and isolate the tenant network as well. Save time and reduce risk with simplified upgrades, like I mentioned at the start of this appliance presentation. The OS again is something that Veritas provides. So upgrades and updates to that OS are streamlined and simplified with the NetBackup appliances. This reduces the risk and complexity associated with the standard upgrade procedures, and also reduces the support requests. Reduce your downtime and reduce your planned and unplanned downtimes. Fully integrated and high availability greatly increases the uptime per year. it improves your system throughput performance, and it reduces your operational costs. Simplified protection of remote or branch offices. Now, again, this particular use case is supported by NetBackup 5150 appliance as well as the NetBackup 5250 appliance. You can streamline your deployment. Backups can be duplicated to data center, central data center, right? This can act as the appliance that are residing on that particular branch office, and these appliances then pump in their data or replicate their data to the central location. Virtual data protection, again with our partnership with VMware, Hyper-V, and even Nutanix, we are able to offer APIs for data protection over the fiber channel, right? So VMware infrastructure is efficiently protected using the VADP APIs. Complete immutable storage solutions, again one of the key USPs of NetBackup, along with the Flex software. You can create and manage immutable locks for primary and secondary copies, as well as NetBackup auto image replication. You can honor legal hold by retaining backups for a specified period of time in NetBackup catalogs. There are two lock modes, something that we spoke about earlier in the slide: compliance and enterprise. And yeah, protection of external workloads with open storage plugins. Let's say you have NetBackup appliances provide OST plugins packaged as a Docker data volume container, right? So you can protect any of your external workloads. Protection of workloads using the NetBackup instant access. NetBackup appliances support NetBackup instant access data that is inside the VM on the NetBackup appliance instantly. So you don't have to necessarily restore the entire VM and then access that data. You can access that data from the NetBackup appliance itself. If it is just a single file or a bunch of files that you want to access or recover, you can do that with NetBackup instant access. Universal share. Universal shares are significantly improving the dump and sweep process. From the DBS perspective, nothing changes really, right? So there is no need for additional storage for dump location. The NetBackup appliance itself can act as a storage device. The DBS can basically store their their databases on the NetBackup appliance, and from there, in just a few steps, the data is swept across. It is so it's a time consuming two-step process, right? Normally the dump and sweep is a time consuming two-step process. Normally your database via NFS or some protocol will dump it on a storage box, and from there the NBU will pick it up. But what happens with universal share is that you can the NFS directly writes it onto the appliance, and from there it is kept as it is stored in the backup location. Apart from these use cases, some of the key benefits of NetBackup appliances are as mentioned over here. You have scalable storage, you have redundancy and resiliency of the power modules. Then you have RAID controllers, right? And hot spare disks and more. You have the Flex software. This is powered by the fully integrated Docker technology. That is, the Flex software is powered by the Docker technology, right? Enterprise grade hardware. The hardware that we are using is Intel Xeon processors, right? We have bondable 10 GB SFP modules and up to 1.5 terabyte of memory per server node in the 5350 appliance. You have Veritas support 24/7 monitoring of your appliances, right? Operational efficiency is something that we saw. Upgrade simplicity. backup as a service, organize application instances into multi-tenant groups with segregated network traffic and data storage. That way you can offer backup as a service to your let's say your clients. So this is an high level comparison of the NetBackup appliance family, right? The appliances that we have are the NetBackup appliances, the Flex appliances, and the Access appliances. The NetBackup virtual appliances have now been deprecated. Okay, we are no longer offering these NetBackup virtual appliances. The one of the question was the smallest appliance that someone can purchase is the NetBackup 5150 appliance. Also, in the 5250 appliance, the minimum storage capacity that comes in the 5250 appliance starts from about 9 terabytes, and it can go up to 430 terabytes. So these are the various appliances that are available. The Access appliances, they are the long term, they are your LTR appliances with 2.5, sorry, it's like 2.5 petabytes of maximum storage that they can offer. What is the Flex platform? The NetBackup NetBackup appliance software, Flex software platform overview, right? What is the Flex platform? Operating system and the and the software foundation of NetBackup. It is the operating system and the software foundation of NetBackup. It is based on the Red Hat RHEL Linux. Okay, it includes proprietary software and Docker components in the NetBackup Flex appliances, and it is present on NetBackup appliances server nodes. Okay. The container technology, which is one of the key differentiators that we have in our appliances. Container technology is optimized by Veritas, and it is integrated into the Flex platform, and it is supported by the VCS. Again, one of our key products. Single application instance per role. All components needed for NetBackup role are deployed via single application instance. In the interest of time, again, I'm just going to quickly go through these slides. So just let me see what is there in chat. Two more questions in the Q&A tab. Okay. Right. Container images. NetBackup container images are provided by Veritas itself. The images are static and immutable. The images are source package from which NetBackup appliances application instances are provisioned. Again, and a single NetBackup image supports provisioning for all NetBackup supported roles, right? So your NetBackup container image could be of 9.0, right? It can have the master server, it can have the MSDP media server instance, right? So all of these are available with NetBackup. NetBackup application instances configuration are done via the NetBackup application console. Includes the container network interface configuration, NetBackup license key entry, etc. The media server and the MSDP container, the instance creation and the NetBackup network interface configuration is also done via NetBackup application appliance console. During this process, the media server is connected to the master server by entering the master server host name. This is just to show the appliance connectivity that we have. So we have fiber channel connectivity. We have one gigabit Ethernet connectivity. We also all of these appliances have 25 and 10 GB Ethernet connectivity. Along with that, we have the SAS3 connectivity to connect your different SAS modules or SAS devices. Really, sorry. This is the IO population in your NetBackup 5250 appliance. There are several models that are present, right from A to F, which have different combinations of these IO modules that you are seeing over here. The A module has, as you can see, two 25 GB Ethernet ports, and two SAS ports. Along with that, it has four 1 GB Ethernet ports, and so on and so forth, as you can see over here. The F module, as you can see, is the highly populated one with four, even six 10 GB Ethernet ports, two SAS ports, two four 16 to 8 GB fiber channel ports and stuff like that. So all of these are the different port configurations that are, or the IO configurations that are available in the NetBackup 5250 appliance. This is the interesting part. The storage shelf, the storages that are available with the NetBackup 5250 appliance. The server unit of the NetBackup 5250 appliance is a 9 TB unit, or it can be a 36 and it can be a 36 terabyte unit, right? As we have seen now, and as I mentioned earlier, you can all of these appliances are vertical scaling, right? So let's say the capacity you have is exhausted. You can add shelves onto this, and from 9 terabyte capacity, it can go up to 430 terabyte capacity. This is for the 5250 appliance. Now these are your these are I'm sorry these are your IO similar IO configurations for the 5350 appliances. The 5350 appliances have three different options, A, B, and C. The NetBackup 5350 has three IO configuration and two memory capacity options, leaving us with 6 node SKUs. But these are the various options that we have: 16 GB FC, 12 SAS, 25 and 10 GB NIC cards. Now in NetBackup 5350, the storage characteristics are available using the 8 TB disks. Now there are two different options available with the 5350 appliance: 8 TB disks and 4 TB disks. Right, so from 240 terabytes, it can go up to 1.9 petabytes. Now using the 4 TB shelves, it from 120 terabytes, it can go up to 960 terabytes. The 5350 appliances also support redundancy and high availability. So it supports the high availability architecture. You can configure it in server nodes, 2x server nodes in a cluster configuration. It also has redundant power modules. It has RAID 1 for the OS and log volume. The hot spare disks are they are I mean, you have the option over there for this is for the server node. For the storage nodes or storage shelves, redundant RAID controllers, redundant power modules, RAID 6 data volumes, RAID 10 metadata volumes, right? Redundant power disk paths, and a hot spare disk, redundant SAS signal paths, and stuff like that, right? All right. So that is what I had with NetBackup and NetBackup appliances. I'd like to thank you for your patience. I'm sorry that we ran about 10-15 minutes over, but I really appreciate your patience with me over here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kapil. So I have directed all the questions to Jayesh, I think, who has addressed it, and thank you very much for addressing it yourself as well, Kapil. So what we'll do is, I think that's the end of the questions that I have received, and also what we have received to the Q&A box. So I too would like to thank you very much. Thank you, Avinash. Thank you, Jayesh. Thank you, everyone who was in attendance today. Thank you so much for giving us the time in order to show you what is new with Veritas and what we have in the roadmap for the future for large enterprises. So having said that, I will keep in touch. I will send you a follow-up email as well in the next couple of days, just get your feedback and how we could improve moving forward. Also, I will send you some. Kapil, is it possible to send this presentation to them as well?
I will check, and I can share probably a PDF of this presentation, maybe. Yeah.
Great. So thanks again, everyone. Thank you so much for your time. I will be in touch in the upcoming days ahead. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, everybody.